Well, I forgot. I was out walking the dog this morning and opened up LinkedIn and saw the obligatory never forget, two lights beaming up into the sky, Twin Towers. And it hit me. I probably could have gone, if I didn't watch the news or any of that stuff, the entire day, maybe not even thinking about September 11th, 2001. Now, with that said, I say I forgot, but it is certainly never forgotten. That day will be burned in my memory for the rest of my life, obviously. It was a horrific, horrific day. And I was 19 years old. I was working for a construction company, a glazing outfit, and I was a truck driver. So I was actually loading a truck on a rather slow day. I remember loading doors onto a truck and hearing about the towers being hit. This was in the morning. I vividly remember this. We were pulling in an old TV. It was one of those deals where it was like a TV on a steel cart with the VCR for basically training type stuff. And it was probably a good 15 to 25 people in this, what is normally a rather high production fabrication environment that just completely went silent. We were standing there and then a second plane hit the towers. Now at this point in 2001, people didn't really have streaming on their computers. So I just remember a lot of, at this point, office personnel coming down because they had heard that we had a TV running and kind of watching it there. Just an absolute horror. Now my father, he served in the Army. And I remember having kind of a really brief conversation about seeing this, where it was like, do I join? And my father's advice was, you don't want that. And kind of started and stopped there. As I'm sitting here today saying, like, man, I forgot. I remember at that point in time, this feeling of pride, American pride, and how much that had nothing to do with right versus left. The unity in the country at that moment was something I've never felt in my entire life, and honestly, probably at this stage, feeling like I never will, and that's sad. Coming off the heels of, watching a debate last night with these two candidates and seeing how polarized this nation is, and realizing that there's a whole generation that has never had the chance to feel that sense of unity, and really tying it all together to realize, like, look, all of these people who perished on 9/11, it was 2,977 victims, almost 18,000 American lives lost because of 9/11 with the Afghanistan and Iraq war that followed. So much death and destruction, and here I am 23 years later, able to go out, walk the dog on 9/11, and had this not been seen on social media, just carry on about my life. And that is what those soldiers fought for, is our freedom to be oblivious, our freedom to walk the streets of this country. And that really hit hard today. We're at a time, again, on the heels of watching a debate last night where the country is so polarized and it's right versus left. And to have that memory and that feeling, and I'm talking about a feeling. If you've ever cried, laughed, those feelings, you feel them. And to have a moment in our American history where you felt pride. It was like, to me, it's hard to explain. I remember driving my 1991 Chevrolet Cavalier with a flag in the window, and just all of the flags everywhere. It didn't matter who you voted for. It didn't matter
when their lives were cut short
where you stood on social issues
of cowardly terrorists.
Everybody was united.
As we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens, I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
I'm struggling with what my takeaway is from this, because as I say, I believe in the whole never forget, and I hope for the rest of forever people are reminding people like myself who are enjoying the freedoms that these American lives were lost for, to carry on a day in peace. I hope that we always see these never forget posts. Everybody should constantly be reminding all of us why we have the ability to live, if we choose, in a world, in a country, not necessarily a world, in a country where we can not watch the news, not care about what happened in a debate the day before, wake up, take our child to school, come home, leash the dog, go for a walk, enjoy this beautifully sunny morning, and just carry on about our day. And that's what's all of that death and destruction, as senseless as all of it feels, that's what makes America great. Thank you to all of those who fought. Thank you to all of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you to those of you who fought and are still to this day battling with the things that you saw. Thank you to all of those who don't get the support that you need. Thank you isn't enough. I think in the global stage, we as Americans have lost that sense of pride. I think a lot of people don't know what that real gut feeling of pride is. And that's sad to me. And I hope that it doesn't take another absolutely horrific tragedy to get Americans to, even if just for a minute, come together and feel that sense of pride. So this was not something scripted. This was just, I felt at first mortified that I was carrying on 9/11 in my normal routine, not really having that sense of remembrance, but then also understanding that people fought and died for that reality, for me to not have to live with that being front and center, really hit hard. And to all of those across the globe who fought for the right side of history and also made the ultimate sacrifice, those can't be forgotten either. And at this point. All this right versus left stuff, we have more in common with each other as Americans than we do with our political leanings. And be appreciative of what you have in this country. Be appreciative of the fact that we can have differing opinions. We should have differing opinions. Our system is geared to hash these things out through legislation. Government is intentionally slow moving. Nothing should be an immediate, just understand, fight your fight in terms of political leanings, but understand the opposition isn't your enemy. The enemy is our enemy, and it's not here. It's not here. So with that being said, I'll just leave it there. So just wanted to kind of fire up a camera with the fact that I do have some position here on social media, and just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents out there in a world crowded with a lot of noise. So thanks for watching.